Yo, yo, what up, my kings of the buffet? How you doing today? We're gonna talk all about our buddy Finn right here. This video is going to be everything about Finn that you could want to know. We're going to talk about what you kind of use him for, what the best way to position him and put him in maps is, what kind of trinkets you want to use, what kind of allies you should use, and of course what kind of weapon you should use. And sort of go into as much depth as I possibly can at this point in the game. I will say that I'm only level 33, so if you're level 50 or something like that, this video is probably going to be worthless for you. But for a lot of the newcomers into the game, you're going to want to know how to use Finn properly to make sure you're doing the best balloon popping power that you can. So Finn is a fairly awesome character. He's the main character in Adventure Time, so he should be rock freaking solid as a character, and he is. He's amazing in a bunch of different ways. First of all, he's got a pretty decent amount of pierce and an extremely fast attack speed, but his biggest issue is the lack of range. Positioning him in a place where he can hit in multiple places really isn't very easy on a lot of maps. So you got to be very careful with the positioning of Finn. Even with the extra small range increase that he gets, it's really not very much. So to level Finn up, you need to use these little Finn cakes right here. He's the only one that uses, well, him and the Dungeon Finn are the only ones that use the Finn cakes. As you level him up, obviously it opens more trinket spots and more ally spots and everything, but you still only get to use one weapon slot right here. The main thing about Finn is that he lacks a couple different types of popping powers. He doesn't have the ability to pop lead balloons. He doesn't have the ability to pop camo balloons. And then at a lower level, he's really not very good against Moab class balloons. You have to get some pretty high tier upgrades to be able to pop those Moab class balloons. But what we can do is we can look at his tech tree. Oh, actually, look at this, man. It actually shows us right here. He's got a fast attack speed. His cons are short range. And, of course, he can pop lots and lots of balloons. He's still got a damage of 3 for right now. And I've got 25 pierce. Oh, my God. An extra little bit of range over here. And then a pretty, obviously, extreme attack speed right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the tech tree really quick. The tech tree is obviously fairly complicated. I still don't have level 5 unlocked over here. The Fin of Fury. Ability stuns and damages nearby balloons. Oh, man, I really want to get that. Big-hearted hero. Prevents game loss and restores all lives once. Oh, man. Those sound delicious. But let's talk about the main upgrades here. So, he has two. I wanted to talk about the two special abilities that he has first. This is Bound by Sword, which increases attack speed after a balloon escapes, but if you add on Princess Bubblegum's aspect as well, it can increase the attack speed all the time. So it actually makes this pretty darn solid. As like a special bonus ability that you can use in combination with Princess Bubblegum. This one is Brofist. It gives cash and lives at the end of each round. So, if you're looking for some extra bonus cash for the entire game, baby, this is what you want to do. And the lives definitely don't hurt at all. I think it's like 8 or 10 lives or something like that, like every round. It's freaking awesome, dude. So, those are the two special abilities. Now let's talk about each one of these guys individually. Now, if you notice, the tech tree is really, really weird. They don't make, it doesn't really make that much sense overall. I mean, in some situations it does, like Radder Faster and Radder Fastest, Raddest Fastest. Yes, it makes sense. But then going to the kick after that, it just doesn't really make sense. Right in the clubs is just sort of right from the get-go, kind of weird to get. You have to get that to get the Bro Fist. It's sort of goofy. But basically, Radder Faster makes you attack faster, Radder Fastest makes you attack super duper fast, and then the Flying Kick stuns and damages Moab class balloons. So this is the best Moab poppin' power thing that you can get. Get the Flying Kick. One kick is pretty much going to take down a Moab on the lower class levels, and then once you get to the higher class ones, Moabs have more health, so the stun doesn't completely kill the Moab, but still damages it an extreme amount. It can still damage like crazy the Oh My Gods and the BFBs and everything. This is going to be one of your best Moab popping power heroes right here to use in the game. Limber Limbs gives you a little bit of extra range over here. And increases the hit area of all attacks. But don't forget, it also gives you extra range. Okay? Don't forget about that. Now this one, you need the Legend of Brojans, or the Medallion of Brojans, to get this upgrade, but it increases the damage from sword attacks. So increasing your damage is really, really important. As I was saying earlier, going from 1 damage to 2 damage is going to double it, but going from 2 to 3 is still going to be a big jump, and going from 3 to 4 is obviously going to be extra especially awesome. Just like snipers, the more layers you get, the better you are. That's how Finn can take down these higher tier Bloons without too many issues. Right in the clubs, this is an interesting because it stuns the most powerful regular Bloon in range. So getting things stunned is always nice, especially the high-class Bloons that we don't want to stay through our defense. Sword Player increases the weapon Pierce. So Pierce is basically how many Bloons we can chop through. If there's 100 red Bloons in our range, how many Bloons are we going to slice right through? And right now I've got them up to 25, but usually it's actually kind of low. If you take away everything, it can get really, really low. Swordmaster again increases the Pierce even further. Awesome. Fin of Fury, ability stuns and damages nearby Bloons. As we said earlier, this is we had to get to level 5 for this guy. It's $5,000 though, which is pretty pricey at this point of the game. Compare that to, for some reason, the big-hearted hero prevents game loss and restores all lives once. It's only $1,000. Like, okay, that's pretty sweet, man. So anyways, after you get Swordmaster though, you probably want to get the Moab Ripper. It basically does extra damage to Moabs and above. So doing extra damage to Moab class Bloons, awesome. On top of this upgrade already, the Flying Kick, you are a pretty good Moab Pop and Power hero right here. So popping back over into the regular game up in here, guys. Oops. Finn. What do we got here, Finn? We want to go back to just Finn. I just want to go back to Finn, man. How do I get back to Finn? Just have to go back into Finn? Okay, that's sort of weird, but okay. So at this point, we've talked about kind of how to use him to the best of your ability, what kind of upgrades he gets. But now, what about the weapons and the allies and the trinkets? Like, which ones should you be getting? Well, it depends. First of all, if you have pretty much any epics at all, use them, man. Like, the epics are going to be extremely important for you. Usually, the rarer they are, the super rares and the epics are going to be better than the commons and the uncommons, you know? So use the higher tier ones, obviously, for any character, really. But because Finn is one of your main characters, use a lot more epics and super rares on him if you can. The best things to get, though, for Finn in total, if you get any of these trinkets at all, are definitely to get camo detection, maybe to get lead pop power depending on your weapon, the trinket to get placed anywhere, and of course the trinket to nullify any negative effects, which I think is the pink sweater. Those are going to be some of the main things you want to get. Basically, Finn becomes unstoppable. He can't be stopped anywhere. He can be put anywhere you want to on the entire map, and he's going to have every type of balloon pop power imaginable, basically giving Finn no weaknesses. Right? That's what we want to have, a tower with no weaknesses. He can just do everything by himself, of course. But of course, we don't all get epics and super rares right from the get-go, so we gotta learn how we can sort of slowly level him up a little bit. What are some of the sort of best uncommon or uncommon upgrades that we can get for this guy? So, let's see. I gotta press the swap button here. It's honestly a little weird the way you have to look at some of the trinkets up in here. But, the Gauntlet of Bones... Wait, what? Oh, I don't have them all here, man. I gotta go to my collection here. So the trinkets. Let's go to the trinkets real quick. We're talking about the trinkets, talk about the allies, and talk about the weapons. This is actually pretty solid for most characters here. It's called the Gauntlet of Bones, +3 Pierce to melee attacks. So going from a sort of low Pierce to a pretty medium amount of Pierce is pretty decent for him at the low level. The Magic Powder, which was, I believe, a rare. Here it is. It is an uncommon, so it's not impossible to get. 25% chance Bloons hit will be stunned for a second. So because he attacks so fast, every 4th Bloon is going to be stunned. So we can stun most Bloons, actually, most of the time, even with 25% chance. You know, anything over a yellow is probably going to get stunned. So that's pretty sweet, man. Stunning a lot of Bloons, especially the ceramic Bloons and stuff like that, can be awesome. The Power Ring of Strength, which I don't remember which one that is. I think it's this one. Power Ring of Strength also knock back Bloons a short distance, so we're keeping the Bloons right inside of our small little range right here. Could be a great addition to them. And then last but not least, of course, you guys need this one, the Power Ring of Damage. I believe that is this one, this green one. It is a rare ring. So it's not going to be easy to come by, but if you ever get +1 damage, oh my baby. Remember, if you're going from 1 damage to 2 damage, you're doubling your popping power. So try and use this guy on Finn if possible, or anybody who sort of does low damage from the start, and you want to increase it up to an extreme amount very, very quickly. So those are sort of the best trinkets to sort of start off with him if you can, but of course any extra trinkets are going to help you out. The trinkets you want to stay away from, actually the okay things to put on him are Pierce, alright? So Finn's got a decent amount of Pierce already, so even if you upgrade it from like 6 to 7 or 7 to 9 or something like that, like it's going to help him out, but it's not an extreme amount. You're not usually having 6 to 9 Bloons in your range at a lower tier level. Only when you get to the higher tier, higher class Bloons. And Finn doesn't need all that much Pierce. We want him to just chop through the Bloons that are nearby him, let the Ice King or some of the other better Bloon popping power heroes deal with the Bloons a little bit more efficiently. Don't put on, though. There's a couple things that you don't want to put... Oh, and then another thing. This one's actually very interesting. It is a rare card, but it's the Medallion of Brojans. It unlocks the Slicer upgrade for Finn, which the Slicer upgrade does +1 damage. Yeah! So, again, doubling our damage from 1 to 2 just from this one little thing right here can be awesome! Plus, it gives you an extra 10% speed, which doesn't help out all that much, but it's going to help out a little bit. Which actually leads me to my next point right here. Things to don't put on. Oh, really? What trinkets should you keep away from Finn? Well, most things that are speed bonuses. He already attacks so fast, so it's giving me an extra 10% or something like that. Like, sure, it's going to give you 10% more popping power, but giving yourself +1 damage is going to double it. So 10% to 100% is a big difference right there, guys. Anything that'll affect your allies. Well, there's a couple different trinkets that'll affect your allies in special ways, but because Finn has such a tiny range, you don't really want to affect your allies. Use that on Princess Bubblegum, who has a huge amount of range. Cooldowns on abilities. Well, you gotta get all the way to level 5 before you even start getting abilities for Finn over here. So, like, why would you even want to lower your cooldowns for these abilities? Like, okay, and plus it's only once per game, like, it's just really not worth it. I would understand it for the Finn and Fury if it's absolutely amazing, but as it currently is, try not to get very many cooldowns on your abilities. It's just not going to help out much. Plus, if it's only like a 10% cooldown ability or something like that, like, who really cares? And then cheapness. Finn is already surprisingly cheap. If you look at all the upgrades over here, you know, getting him up all the way up to Moab Ripper, you know, take out this and this, and everything to get him all the way up is like $2 grand. You know, it's like he's $3 grand. It's like super duper cheap to get him up to a really solid character into the game. Could pop almost all the Bloons. Alright, so those are the trinkets. That's probably what you guys want to start off by using Finn as. How about the weapon and the allies? So, the swords. Alright, here we go, guys. Now, I've got the best sword in the game, I think. Alright, this thing is awesome. A sword that exists in the 4th dimension, so powerful it can alter reality itself. It's got 15% range, which doesn't matter. We don't really care about that. But we got 12 Pierce. So remember how I was saying to stay away from the Pierce? When you get 12 Pierce, it's a huge bonus right there for when you're playing things like Impoppable and stuff like that. Especially when you got +3 Pierce for every 2 stars. I'm already up to 18 Pierce just with this sword right here. Holy crapola. But that's not even the most powerful aspect of the sword right here. The most powerful thing is that it slows Bloons, including Moabs, on contact. So all Bloons that are getting in range of Finn basically get slowed down, and they get a 5% chance to destroy them completely. So if we just attack a Moab 20 times, it's most likely going to die. If we attack his Oh My God 20 times, it's most likely going to die. I have seen, unless something else is happening that's weird on my screen, I've been insta-killing Zoma Gods with Finn lately, so that shows how powerful this sword is right here. As far as, you know, what sword should you use? Any epic sword that you guys find over here, anything you want, man. All these epic swords are going to be absolutely amazing, but also, there's another one. So the Thunder Sword's good, the No Thung Sword, the Finn Sword, the Unimaginably Amazing Sword here, they're all good, but they work in different ways. The weird thing about the extra speed bonuses right here is they both activate some sort of ability. Creates an alternate timeline of Finn, and then also creates a slower sword, but a much more powerful Shark Sword. So that's pretty cool right there. But don't forget about this one. This one's actually a rare sword right here. It's called the Root Sword, and what it does is give you extra damage. So once I found the Root Sword, I was actually really happy with myself with the amount that of damage that Finn was doing in total. Again, adding 1 damage is awesome. We were going from 1 damage to start off. I got the extra power ring, and then I also added on the Root Sword here, and I was doing 3 damage. Right away, and it was obviously really, really special. Plus 1 per 4 stars right here, guys. So I can do all the way up to 4 damage with just the Root Sword right here, and that is awesome. So, that's popping tons and tons of layers of balloons right here. All the lower, even the rainbows, the ceramics, those higher tierish balloons. We just slice right through those guys, on top of the extreme pierce that we already have with our other extra bonuses. So, that's the weapon, that's the trinkets, and now the allies. Now, I gotta say, guys, I have not tested out all the allies, but I can say that my favorites so far have been both of these guys. They've been amazing. BMO. BMO, I've been told that BMO is a girl, then I've been told that BMO is a robot, so she doesn't have a gender. I'm gonna call her a girl, just because I feel like everything, if it's alive, it's automatic, it has a gender, alright? Don't assume BMO's gender. But basically, BMO gives you extra money. She is a rare card to use, so she is blue right here. And it kind of sucks because a lot of these guys are rare, super rares, or epics. There's not very many commons. In fact, the only uncommon is Tree Trunks right here, which gives you extra lives. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do really like Shoko. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know what... I'm only on Season 2, guys. I'm working my way up, alright? But Shoko removes special properties from balloons and gives a cash bonus. So removing the ability of them to, regenify themselves or something like that. I put them right at the very front of the map. They give me monies, and they get rid of special properties on balloons. Shield properties, camo properties. Actually, I don't know if they can see camo balloons. I'm not sure about that. But other properties, man, getting rid of that can be very, very helpful. And then BMO makes you money also, but in an interesting way. It acts sort of like a banana bank. So you spend a little bit of money, and then it slowly generates more and more money, but it can create 20 times as much money as it costs at the beginning of the game. So getting BMO is one of my main things. I get BMO right from the get-go, and I just let her fly, baby. I let her fly, give me tons of money. Though she does max out at $1,000. Now, there's a bunch of other allies as well that I haven't gotten to. As I stated before, I've only got 4 out of 12 or so, 15 in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 17 heroes in total. So obviously that's a lot of people that I have not even played with yet. So I'm not going to say that I know which ones are the best or anything like that. I'm not even going to read about them. If you get anything that's epic or super rare, check them out. See how well they're going to work for you. Though I will say, as far as all of the allies are concerned, the only allies that I've actually really enjoyed using are ones that give me money. I really like using the ones that give me money so I can pour my money back into my regular characters here who seem to be extra specially powerful. Anyways, that's pretty much all I've got for my my Finn talk today. If this video is something you guys are enjoying, make sure you press that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe, and then let me know if you want to see me do this for other heroes. If you really don't like this idea, you think I did a bad job explaining Finn, or if I made any mistakes throughout the video, let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to learn and become better for you guys. Alright, so thank you so much, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.